Are we live yet?
I don't know.
Neither do I. Well, that's good, isn't it? It's a good start. Yes, we are live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the live stream, the weekly teletext art live stream, as we've appropriated the name from Mr. ZX Gesser, who is here with us tonight. Hello, ZX.
Hello. Is anybody here?
Is there anybody out there? Yeah, if anybody is out there in chat, please let us know. Say the code word, which is cheese sandwich, all in one word. But yeah, do you prefer me to call you ZX Gesser or Alistair Cree? Alistair, what do you prefer?
Alistair or ZX Gesser, whatever you like.
Do people call you Ali?
No.
Okay, so I won't call you that then, unless you want me to. Okay then. So, yes, I'm Dan, and you're joining us for the pre-stream for Teletext Sofa Club. And this is the part where we test the audio to see if it's working.
It seems to be.
Oh, Alistair's on top of that this evening. Am I a bit low?
It all sounds fine on the stream.
Yeah, that's okay. Alrighty then. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the stream. So, I've said that about 3 times, haven't I?
If you keep saying it, somebody might show up.
Yeah, I do need to get the chat up, don't I? I'm going to chat up chat. Hello, chat. How are you tonight? Yeah, so welcome everybody in the YouTube chat and everybody in the Discord chat in the Block Party Teletext Discord.
Hello, Sarah.
Oh, Sarah's here. Hello.
Sarah's there in Discord.
Yeah, we're going to start with something from Sarah tonight, actually, in a short while. Something that she's sent into the show, a bit of viewer mail, as it were. And it's reminiscent of the old Oracle and BBC services, where kids would do their own teletext art and send it in. And then somebody on the other end would recreate it pixel by pixel and actually publish it on teletext. So that's what we've got coming up.
Oh, Peter's there in the YouTube chat.
Hello, Peter. How are you tonight? Good to see you here again. How's the ukulele? Maybe one day you could come on the show and play it. He says the audio is fine. Will it be fine, though, if he starts playing ukulele? I mean, Alistair will just totally, well, lose it, probably. He'll nuke the audio.
Yeah, I'm not in control of these streams, though, am I?
You were telling me about...
Can't rule with an iron fist like I do on Block Party.
Well, you do have your audio mixer, don't you, though?
Yeah, but that's only going to mute me.
I know, but you've got some...
Mute it so I don't have to listen to it.
Special effects, haven't you, on your audio mixer?
Yeah. I'm not sure that'd help.
It'd be funny to listen to, though. Can we hear it?
Oh, if we must.
No.
I'm not convinced it's funny, but funny way, not funny how. There we go.
Anything else? Is that it? The alien one?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh,
there should be reverb, but I can't work out how to turn it on. Possibly that, maybe. I don't know. Testing? No, I don't think that does anything. Oh well.
Well, I think it was worth it for the alien voice. That's the analog
You don't
version.
even need special effects. You can do it yourself.
Need special effects when you can do this. That's what we had to do in the olden days, before ring modulators, to disguise our voices. All right, so I have the chat up, and it's pretty much nearly 7 o'clock already. Well, doesn't time fly when you're messing around? So we might as well get this formally started here. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Teletext Sofa Club. And today we're celebrating International Blast Through Alphanumerics Day, which is definitely not something I made up the other day. No, no, no. It's a long and storied history. And we should define, I think, the term Blast Through Alphanumerics for the newcomers out there. And for those that maybe just aren't quite sure what BTAR is. So Blast Through Alphanumerics, plural noun, characters that can be displayed on a video text terminal that's including teletext when it's in graphics mode. So the serial teletexters amongst you will know that there is the graphics mode and the text mode. And if you type letters in the graphics mode, those are called Blast Through Alphanumerics. Except, as Alistair pointed out before, there are no numerics, they're just alphas. It's just letters. But you can have a few other things.
I don't think it was me that pointed it out.
Was it not? Oh, okay.
Was it Jason? I'm not sure.
It probably was.
There is some punctuation, though. You've got some punctuation characters in there.
Do they differ between the different character sets, though? Because I've noticed in EditTF you can have @ symbols in Blast Through.
No. Yeah, that's in the English character set. You'll have an @ is the first character, Blast Through character, but the different national options have different characters in those spaces.
Yeah, and one interesting thing I noticed the other month is you can have arrows in Blast Through, I think. You can in Flare, which is a smart commercial editor.
They're in that column.
And you have to do a little bit of fiddling to get it to work, but you can get it to work. And that's a little tip for you teletext artists out there. And just as a side point, I'd never heard of blaudience till I saw this the other day. A term meaning blog audience, referring to the audience or readers of a blog. And that's a portmanteau nightmare in a way.
Let me grab some screens.
So yes.
Post it in the Discord.
Oh, here we go. We've got something to see. Here we have Blast Through Paramedics, a piece of art that I did 5 years ago now. Wow, how time flies when you're messing around. And this was for Miss Degree or Mr. Grace, Mist Funk. Check them out. Sort of an underground BBS type art group, except they have a lot of teletext in there. So well worth checking out at Mistfunk on Twitter. There's also a Facebook page. So, did you post something in Discord there,
Alistair?
Alistair?
If you look in the block party, I've posted 2 images. And it's the character sets for the teletext alphanumerics. So you'll be able to see all of the characters that can blast through are the middle 2 columns of the table. Not that one.
Oh, the other one. You want the other one?
The other one first.
Right.
Yeah.
It just makes me laugh every time I hear that Blast Through. It's just a great name, I think. They were having some fun when they came up with that name. There we go.
So that is the basic Latin character set. So the 2 columns, column 4 and 5 there in the middle, they are all the things that can blast through when you're in graphics mode. And the ones that are shaded grey, so the @ symbol there and the left square bracket and so on down the columns.
All right, columns are okay. Never mind. Never mind. All right, columns 4 and 5. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm just messing around with this.
Yeah, all of those symbols you can have, except you can't have those symbols that are shaded in grey, really, because they're swapped out in the different languages. Oh, BTA, yeah.
There we go.
So then if you look in the other image, that will show you which ones you can have in each language.
Okay. If I, if I can figure out how to do this.
So
Oh,
what's
I see.
that? You got 4 O you can have. So like in English, that's the at symbol.
Mm-hmm.
Anything in that column you can have. And what are the others? 5B to 5F. Right, so it's the third column to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8th column. All of those symbols
These.
you can have in each language. So in English, that's at, left arrow, half, right arrow, up arrow, and hash.
Right.
Are all things you can have in Blast Through.
So, oh, can you have the pound
So,
symbol in Blast Through? No.
no, because that
Right.
That being character 2, column 2, row 3, that is in like the numerics, like punctuation. So you would have graphic symbols there instead.
Okay.
So there you go. That's why.
There you go. And that's basically Blast Through alphanumerics in a nutshell. And you can use them
all the
in your
detail I
artwork.
can think of.
Well, yeah, basically people can use those in their artwork to great effect. Just my recommendation is mess around and see what types of effects you can get with them. Because as I said, I had a lot of fun playing around with the arrows most recently in some of my artwork in Blast Through mode. Okay.
It's one of those things where you have to bear in mind you can use them and they can look good, but then like if you were going to submit artwork to like art text to put in a gallery, it would all get screwed up because they would use the German character set and all of your pretty arrows would turn into capital U's with umlauts and things.
I've done that before.
So one to remember.
In some of my stuff that I've sent to Art Text, I forgot about the different character sets, and I had to mess around with a few things to get, because the standard German thing to do is, instead of putting a U with an umlaut, in case you don't have the umlaut, you put UE or OE or whatever. And I didn't know that. I only learned that afterwards. So messed up there, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. So I believe we've got somebody entering the chat in just a moment. They're getting set up right now. On this International Blast Through Alphanumerics Day, which, like I said, is a new holiday that I've just made up, basically. And I invite you all to celebrate it with us tonight. That would be good if you could. We've just got somebody joining, as I mentioned, and yeah, you might be very familiar with his work because his art has been on this show. Every single show that we've done here has featured his art, and he is the incredible Mr. Pixelblip. Hello, Pixel.
Good evening. Hi.
Hi.
All right.
How are you tonight?
Yeah, very well. Yourself? It's warmed up a bit now, isn't it? Finally.
Yeah. What you mean for the evening? It's warmer tonight.
Well, I don't know about that. Yeah. Well, in terms of our miserable June, yeah.
Yeah, actually, where I am, it's just got a lot colder and wetter. So.
Oh, okay. Every time I say that, it seems to be the polar opposite to where you are. So sorry.
Yeah. Where are you? Like Spain or somewhere?
Yeah. Yeah. Not quite, but yeah.
Excellent. So thank you very much for joining us on this show.
Yes, I am for a live stream. How exciting. Hello, Alistair. That's all right.
I'm liking your gaming chair that you have there and your little setup.
This one here.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just a cheap old thing, you know,
Oh.
nothing. It will give me backache in about half an hour. So
It's better than my one. You can't even see it.
No, they're yes, it looked really good when I bought it, but within half an hour I was limping around with backache. So yeah, but yeah, it does the job. So but yeah, is that where you sleep there then?
Absolutely, yes. No, it's just somebody else's bed. I've broken into somebody else's bedroom to do the stream.
We're getting a very intimate view of your life, aren't we?
Absolutely.
On these streams.
One time
it would be nice if,
I don't know why you don't crop in closer down on the camera.
I have no idea how you do that.
You've only got about 6 pixels to start with.
So just
do
cover
the
it
stream
up
from your bed. It'd be a lot more comfortable.
There you go. I'll just cover it up so you can't see it. So one day I might join the stream and somebody could be in it. So just a person who's walked in and has had a lie down. Excellent. So whilst we're on the subject, what's the deal with the brain in the jar on your shelf?
The brain in the jar? Oh,
yes.
Right. No, those are my cola cubes there, aren't they?
Right.
I'm trying to give up sweets, but it doesn't help if they're directly... I've tried to put them out of sight or out of touch, but yeah.
Oh, what's this?
Bombay mix on my desk.
That's a lot healthier, isn't it? Yeah. I picked up this terrible sweetie
Not saltier.
habit since lockdown, and sooner or later I'm going to crunch on a cola cube and have to go to the dentist, because it's impossible just to suck them without crunching them, I find. So
that's the sweetie jar, but I've eaten all the
right.
sweeties.
Oh dear. Oh God. I can send you some cola cubes.
I feel like the odd one out tonight. I don't have any jars of anything really to show you.
No,
orange.
Orange. No, get that off this stream. No orange allowed. No. Of course.
Well, we'll have to send you some sweeties, won't we?
Oh, absolutely. Well, no, not really.
Maybe we'll do some teletext sweetie pictures.
After 8.
What's all this?
Maybe that'll be next week's competition. After 8?
I have a lot of stuff piled up next to me.
Alistair, are you streaming from the pantry or from the kitchen? It's got all these biscuits and things.
I'd hurry up and eat those in June if I were you. They might not be around.
Why is that?
When the sun comes
the
up.
after 8s are just finished. I finished those a couple of days ago.
Okay.
Right, okay.
So, Pixelblip, what are your thoughts on blessed through alphanumerics? Because Peter Kwan, my dolphin picture used German blessed through. So what are your own thoughts on using blessed through, particularly for artwork?
I don't know what they are. I've yet to... I haven't had a look yet. And you as I was getting set up, you were talking about it, weren't you? So I might have to replay the stream after, find out what they are.
Well, you're really missing out, Pixelblip, because the letters and limited symbols that you can get in Teletext's graphics mode. So when you've got the whole grid set up as graphics, you can type capital letters and @ symbols and a few other things without having to switch to text mode on the grid. That's basically it. And,
right, okay.
Well, I've got an example.
So I see, yeah.
Actually, an example set up here,
Right, let's have a look.
A recovery by the one and only teletext archaeologist, Mr. Jason Robertson. And if you take a look on the flag here, if I can get my magic wand out, the flag there, the letters I and O represent 10 and whole 10 of this golf course.
Right.
And they're placed in blessed through alphanumerics. It's very creative, I think, this particular use, because neither of them are numerics, but they're representing the number 10.
I see, yes. I think that's very clever, very creative. I've come across this problem myself without realizing it. In the art program, a lot of the time I haven't had text characters switched on, but graphics, and yeah. But you save that extra valuable code, don't you, that you can use for drawing? So
Yeah, that's right. Usually when you want to place some text, you have to place a a text code before, and then switch back to graphics afterwards. So it uses up a blank space either side of where you're adding the text. So that's the main use for Blast Through. And apart from that, it's just a great name, isn't it?
it is.
I'd like to find out who came up with that name, because it's wonderful.
Yes, it begs to do some sort of like laser gun picture with it, doesn't it, or something now, I think. But yes, every teletext character is a valuable thing, isn't it, in this world? You know, if you use one, then it could mean you not being able to draw the details on a face, for instance, or it's quite important, isn't it? It's quite funny when you try and describe to people who don't know what teletext is, or they can't really remember it, how it's made, and the way you use graphic characters, and how unique it is because of that, why it gives it its unique look. But it kind of washes over them, I think, when I try and describe it.
Yeah, I noticed that in one of the competitions that we did, I think it was at Block Party Wigan, the really technically good artworks didn't get votes. It was the more sort of colorful and striking ones, because when you open it up to a public vote and those outside the teletext art making community, then they sort of can miss the intricacies and how clever and resourceful those particular uses of, say, Blast Through and held graphics, etc. are. And I've noticed there's a lot of those in your work. So I thought, while you're here, we could have a look at some of your art. How do you feel about that?
Oh, please do, yes. By all means, rip it apart if you want, because I'm here to defend it.
Oh, okay. Then is that a challenge? No, we're not going to rip into your artwork. We're going to say how great it is. And may we start with this one? Can you see this with the planet and the terrain flying by? I really love these animations that you do. Because I guess there's only about 5 or 6 different frames here, but it looks so fluid, as if it could go on forever.
Well, there are quite a few more frames than that, actually.
Right.
About 96 of them. Yeah. All on a loop, and then I draw over the top of them. So Telepaint can now import BMP pictures of 78 by 72 pixels. So I've been mucking around with things like this and importing stuff and then drawing over the top. And it can also do sprites, which is quite interesting. So you can have background stuff going on and then plot sprites over the top of it in teletext, which is really cool. I think the next thing I'm going to try, I might do, is some parallax stuff, but I'm not sure yet. We'll have to see how I might do that. Yeah. So it's pushing it into the 2021, the next millennium. This.
Yeah.
I hope it still looks teletexty though. That's quite important.
Well, it absolutely looks teletexty because it is teletext graphics.
It is, yeah.
I think it's fine to introduce some new elements to teletext, like animation such as this, because remember when we had Ian Irving on and we talked about his animations? They worked a lot like that, where he took the different frames and sped them up however many percent, 200%. So it looked a lot smoother. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that. People were doing that back in the 80s and 90s to great effect.
Mm. Yeah, it just opens up being able to do things you haven't done before in it, really, which is quite interesting. I like the idea of combining it with, I don't know if I've done much stuff like that yet, but combining it with text as well, actual text characters. And you always get to this point where when you look at that, you think, how am I going to colour that? Because it's all just black and white, and it's interesting. You've got to do everything in lines, isn't it, in teletext? So there's a lot of diagonals there, but you can get away with it, can't you? Just putting a colour character code at the side. I think, even though sometimes you want to put things in the middle there, but it's a very useful facility in Telepaint. I will do another stream of it, some tutorials. I think I've got to do some, but you can draw your control codes out in it, and then copy one frame of that to all the other frames. So that's very useful for just colouring the scene in without having to plot everything again like I did before. So
okay. So you mentioned Telepaint. That's the program that you use to make these, and you want to make some sort of tutorial set. But I believe there is one tutorial out there if people go on the Block Party server. Is that right? You've already done a sort of stream?
I did do one, yeah. I think it's a bit rambly, really. I think I need to do some, because people haven't got time to sit through I get fed up watching tutorials on the internet, on YouTube, when I'm trying to learn something. So I think I'm going to try and compact things down into sort of 5-minute things, really, just so people can get going.
Yeah, they do tend to stretch things out a little bit on YouTube, I've found. But yeah, well, we'll definitely look out for that, because
yeah, I've got to get everyone using the program, you see, because at the moment or to give it a go anyway. It's not for everybody. Yeah, but it's exciting, the animation stuff you can do in it now, I think. And it can output to edit TF, which is quite cool if you want to. I mean, one thing I did like the idea of was hosting pages on TFAX and trying to animate them, but they were very slow. But that's almost more exciting to me, that being able to, real tech. You know, that's what I like about a lot of the animations we see on the Discord and stuff, where people are just using flashing graphics and stuff. They're quite creative, aren't they? A lot of them.
I don't know if you've seen, it's a little bit outside our little closed teletext community, but somewhere out there, I remember seeing someone has made an animation where they plugged it into a Raspberry Pi, changed the frame rate on it so that the animation was smoother, and created this, I think it might have been a 2 or 3 minute long animation complete, and then displayed it at a gallery as an artwork. And I think you could easily do that with most of the animations that you've done already.
Right, yeah. Yeah, well, that's the thing. How do you, what's the best way of displaying this stuff? You almost wanna, you couldn't do that with this, but you almost want to display it on real teletext analog signal, don't you? But I like the idea of a VR art gallery that's full of teletext as well. That could be quite wacky.
Yeah. What, sorry, Alistair.
Had I disappeared? I think Zoom had lost a setting or something. I was going to say we could definitely set something like that up for the next show we do.
Yeah.
To show Pixelblip's animations. It doesn't really work putting them on TFAX and so on, because the fastest you can animate stuff is one update every 1 second. So that's obviously not smooth. And also, if you put loads of those on, it just makes the pages go really slow. So it's better to have them in a separate system. But I keep saying to people, if they have cool things they want to show off at the shows, you know, with a bit of warning beforehand, we can build something to display pretty much any teletext.
I don't know whether that's cheating, you know.
Well, on real teletext,
you know,
but it needs to be built into it. It needs to be something special on the system. I mean, like I've done the video of the rotating globe. I mean, that's 25 frames per second full screen video as a teletext signal. So, you know, it's possible to do.
Yeah, we'll have to see if we can try something like that out.
When the next show will be is another question, of course, but we can definitely build something to do it.
Well, I might try some more old-fashioned animations as well. With it's quite interesting when you've got limitations like that, isn't it? Just try and do some just with flashing graphics or something. You know, how could I do that scene in real traditional teletext and make it move?
Yeah, it's tricky.
Yeah. It's quite interesting though. Yeah.
The biggest difficulty with the flash in teletext, at least in any teletext, but the level 1 flash, it's a flash to background, so you can only have things that appear and disappear, which makes some of the animation possibilities difficult. On something like the ZX Spectrum, the flash swaps the foreground and background colors, so you can make things alternate from one place to another and things like that. But with the way it only flashes to background in teletext, it sort of cuts in half the number of things you can do with it almost.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to go away and try it now after we finished and see what I can come up with, because it's too much of a challenge not to. Yeah.
Somebody, it might have been Polydux, did one way back at the 2017 block party in Cambridge. Did a really good animation.
Yeah.
Spent hours on it, sat there in the corner fiddling around trying different things. I should be able to dig it out.
It's called I See You Frodo is the name of the artwork.
Wow, I'm interested in seeing this. Yeah. Oh, I do remember it now. I do remember it. Is it the Eye of Sauron blinking or something? It was, wasn't it? Yeah. Yes, I do remember it. It struck me at the time when I saw it how inventive it was.
Yeah, that's another thing worth messing around with, I think. And if you look at some of Mr. Biffo's old stuff on Digitizer, he was playing around with flash and background and things like that to make mouths move. I think that's possibly the best application that we've got at the moment. Though I really, really was impressed by the moving guy. That was my favorite artwork from that particular block party. I think he got a little bit of help from Simon Rawls, a little bit of direction.
Right.
But yeah.
One thing I think is quite interesting is whether you could, I often think about this, but whether you could use lenticular sheets and turn those pictures into a, you know, like on-off, you know what I mean? Where the animated plastic lenticular
like you used
sheets.
to get on in your cereal packets.
That's it. Yeah. I have been experimenting around a bit with that, trying to do animation. Not very successfully with it, but so you could imagine printing out a teletext picture that moved as you walked past. Something permanent like that, where it's not almost on the TV. I think that's very interesting.
Links in the Discord, Dan.
Got it.
To that page.
Right. Yeah, really impressive. Still one of my favorite artworks to this day.
Yeah, let's have a little look at this again.
There it is in all its glory.
Right, yes, it's very good, that, isn't it? Yeah.
Right,
Quite
now let's
sinister.
have a quick look. Yeah, absolutely. A little bit of a departure really for Polydux, because he's always creating the cutesy thingies.
Mm.
So let's just take a quick look under the hood here and see exactly how much work went into doing this. Ah, look at that. So can anybody pick that apart simply in the simplest of terms?
Well, it's, hold graphics and foreground black would be the things I would say. It suffers the problem that it means it needs level 2 because it uses foreground black. So it's if you switch that off, you do get a bit of a mess.
All right.
Well, I'd say that's allowed in this instance, level 2.
Yeah, it's certainly worth it.
Yeah.
I mean, you could do it. You'd be able to do it fine if you just use different colours. So, you know, there's always the possibility of changing the colours around a bit. But in this, obviously, you want a black pupil. So,
I suppose you, whenever you do these pictures, you're going to get an alternating thing, aren't you? With it, really, you can't really make something move. It's just going to be going on and off, isn't it? So
yeah, let me.
It's quite a challenge, though. It's an interesting challenge.
I did at the same time, not the same time. Oh, that doesn't look right at all. Somewhere I've got. Oh, where will it be? I took one of Steve Horsenberger's artworks and added some animation to it using the level 2.5 multi-phase flash. So I've posted that link as well down.
Okay.
This was he'd posted the artwork and somebody said, well, it needs a flashing disco background or something.
Okay.
So he'd edited in Photoshop or something, given it a flashing disco background. So I said, have you got the file for that? Because I could add a proper flashing disco background in level 2 teletext. 2.5.
Yeah, that's really good. That I remember seeing that at the time, thinking that's very striking, very clever, very good.
If you switch to level 1, you'll see what's really there on the page. It's just all dots, and it just turns them on and off in turn.
So you created like the illusion of movement there really well. So it could be done, couldn't it? Really looking at that.
It would work for some of your like parallax scrolling type artworks. It get complicated, but could certainly be done.
Yeah, I might have to try. I'll try one later, maybe with a ship horizontally going along or something first before I tackle 3D.
In the level 2. Oh, you say your thing while I find the information.
Yeah, I was going to say that if you wanted to set something like this up, Peter Kwan says animation for VBit, there can be dedicated channels, 1 channel per animation. VBit 4 can run full speed if the delay is commented out. So, yeah, pretty much anything.
Not 4. IV for InVision.
Oh, okay. So it's not 4. Got it.
That's his display program.
Got it.
Well, I don't know how he pronounces it, but I assumed it was InVision.
Oh, it could be. Peter will have to tell us.
Yeah, that I'd be interested to hear that, whatever it is.
But yeah, you'd need a special tool for generating the packet stream. That's the thing.
I see.
To output your animations.
I see. Okay, I'll have to have a look.
But we can
to do
definitely
this.
hack something like that together.
Well, it's just nice having something so simple like this, isn't it? With just a page, effectively, one page.
Well, you say simple, but
yeah,
the code to make it work is a pain in the backside.
Is it? Okay. I'll have to delve into your editor and try and figure it out.
It's hidden away in a separate editing thing. I think we've shown before once or twice. In the teletext specification, it calls it incremental flash apparent movement to the right, I think, and decremental flash apparent movement to the left. So that's obviously why they obviously had this idea. There's different modes where you can set a whole block of stuff will flash on phase 1 or phase 2 or phase 3, but this is using a special mode where it goes along and every character across the page gets assigned to a different flash phase. So either moving to the left or moving to the right.
I'll have to delve into this. I think
I'll show you how to do it. It's a bit of a gimmick, but
I can imagine. I did a can of something which we won't mention as an animation. I can imagine doing the bubbles with something like this, maybe.
A can of something? You mean like a can of Turn of the Worms?
No, it wasn't that, but it was a certain well-known drink. Yeah.
Okay. Right. Copyright issues. Yeah. Oh, GK Max says the spec says, comma, inverted commas, black foreground should be used with caution as it's interpreted by some existing level 1 and level 1.5 decoders. In my experience, some is every teletext set I've seen since 1991.
Right. So stay away from foreground black.
That's right, but those, what really? I've seen, I mean, even at Wigan Steam when we had the block party, I think they were level 2.5 TVs, teletext TVs.
One of them was, yeah, the big one.
And the one I have here, I think, this TV I've got here is level 2, because I've tried it. Yeah, well, it's a good point. But I mean, it's that getting that balance, I mean, between putting it in that retro situation in its proper home of a television and adapting it for the modern generation, I think, for the internet and trying to develop. Go on.
You've seen I'm not shy about making about level 2 pages, level 2.5 pages. I would just say that foreground black, you just have to follow the same rule as you do with the rest of level 2.5 stuff, which is that the page should have a sensible fallback. Not leave a big exploded background because you don't change the color back. And things like that.
I mean, don't let it stop you playing around with it. Don't say, oh no.
Also, there's no rules. You do what you like.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just don't pay any attention to me.
We encourage everybody to have a go at all these different things because they're new and exciting, and they're very undeveloped, I think, or they used to be undeveloped, but they're becoming more popular. So, so do you mind if we move on to a bit more of Pixelblip's art now? Because we mentioned a can, and here is a can of Turn of the Worms.
Well, yeah. It's not. Well, it could be Turn of the Worm for you, yeah. There is a lot of meaning in a lot of these pictures that I probably won't go into right now, but yeah, it's a can of worms. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, a lot of stuff is done quite spontaneously. The ideas depending on what happens to me in the day, and this was a can of worms from something that happened to me. So
well, you say it's pretty basic, but I think it's very expertly realized, because it really makes good use of that, something you mentioned earlier about teletext being good for drawing lines, and that being a really effective aesthetic. And sometimes the artworks that you might knock up in the shortest time can be just as effective as the ones you spend 3 hours working on.
very true. Yeah, this was knocked up in very short time.
Well, I wasn't saying that is the case with yours.
I'll be honest, it was. I literally drew the can out with the mouse without getting it right or perfect, and just slapped it down really quickly. The worms were done. Telepaint's good because it's got like when you draw a dot, it moves on to the next frame automatically. So if you just start drawing dot down the screen, you see these worms coming down the side of the can. That is very quick to do. And then the other worms, the weekly worms going across the screen now, are just a sprite of 4 frames that I drew really quickly and just told it to plot the sprite at different points going left or right. So it's really, really quick to do.
I think that's one of the things that Telepaint is really good for, is doing these simple animations. And they've become... Sorry? Oh.
Am I still here?
Yes, you're still here.
I'm still here. Everything's crashed.
I thought you'd gone out for an after 8. Oh.
My browser froze up.
Blame the brain in the jar. Sorry, go on.
Yeah. No more to say on that, really. I think it's about it could be 96 frames, that as well. I think it is. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I think the program goes up to about 100.
But just to reiterate, you don't actually have to draw each frame deliberately and slowly.
No, I drew the can, then I copied it to all the other frames. I drew the little dots really quickly going down the can.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about it when I drew them, just slapped them on the thing, and then just did the sprites very quickly in the sprite editor. And it's got a plot command, so you can, what's nice about it is you can plot off the screen, so the sprite can be seen coming in from either side. And it's really quick to do. Yeah. And yeah, if you just draw one sprite, you can use it again and again, which is what I did there. So
yeah.
And then maybe one day I'll tell you why it was a can of worms. But anyway, that's for another day.
Yeah. Well, let's see what other works you've been up to recently, or you've been creating recently. Oh, there we go. Are those planes in the sky there?
Yes, they are. Yeah. This was quite a controversial one. Somebody, well, it's open to interpretation, but somebody said to me they thought it was quite dark, which is quite interesting, because I thought, okay, let's have a think about that. And it's interesting when you post things, you don't always, well, there's different connotations, but it's quite suggestive, this picture.
Right.
A bit political, maybe.
Is that COVID at the seaside?
Yeah, the idea was that, well, I think somebody looked at it when they couldn't work it out from the title, as though it was quite dark.
Yeah.
And I can see what they meant by that now they said that, but I think the idea I had more was I don't know how I feel about it really, but people are going on holiday. I shouldn't. It might sound a bit controversial.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
You know, some people can't afford a holiday. Other people are going on holiday, and so I was playing around with the idea of, should people bear the brunt for that in the picture? It's being a bit provocative, really. Yeah. But I don't. You know, the titles are quite important to me of the pictures, because I always try and be witty, if not a bit dark sometimes, but I think they're as important as the pictures. Yeah, and you can see a third wave there, in case anyone couldn't work that out, but I think
Yes,
that's yeah. So I don't know whether to do any more COVID pictures, because by now everybody's probably fed up of hearing about it, but I think you've got to keep a bit of satire up and keep, I won't say poking fun at things, but I mean, yeah, quite a lot of interesting art does that, doesn't it?
Well, I think if you've got something to say, you might as well do it through art, and why not teletext art? So
yeah,
there you go.
And but one doesn't want to be accused of hypocrisy as well. That's the other thing. So I, not that I've been on holiday, but anyway, I'm always mindful of that. But I do like to poke fun. Yeah. That's not necessarily fun, by the way, but yeah, I'll bring up things.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with being a little bit political, I think. Oh, I like that. The rainbow.
Yeah.
On the moon, perhaps?
I'm not sure. I was thinking of like an atmosphere and a planet of some sort, and it's ended up looking like a rainbow, like so much other stuff I seem to do nowadays. But so that's BBC Micro Mode 2.
So what program did you use to make this?
Well, that's Art Forever, and that's on Art for Windows GitHub, if you type that into Google. Okay. And Telepaint is also inside that zip file. So all both the art programs, Art Forever and Telepaint, are inside there. And I won't go on, but we were going to try and turn that program into a teletext program, but then thought, this is going to be a bit difficult. So we started Telepaint. Yeah. But the one thing I like about that is the colour cycling. There's 8 colours and there's 8 flashing colours that you cycle. And I sort of said to Lance, who does this with me, could we put colour cycling into teletext? So anyway, and he sort of did it. Yeah, he did it. He managed to get this effect into Telepaint of lines being able to move. Not unlike Alistair's level 2.5 thing, you know, it's now Richard Pryor, but.
So is that snow coming down? Oh.
No,
stars twinkling.
It's twinkling stars, and the planet. It's meant to sort of simulate perhaps the planet's rotating. That was a sort of idea.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Got it. That's a cool thing. That's a cool thing you can do in Telepaint as well, isn't it?
You can, yeah.
If you want to try it at home, ladies and gentlemen, this is an art attack. So ZX Spectrum, perhaps?
ZX Spectrum, yeah.
Yeah.
This is an interesting one. There's a few meanings behind there. I think I'll leave the audience to guess what this might be about.
Yeah, I think that's the fun part, isn't it?
Yeah.
You just post it and people have their own interpretations. You post it with your title and people can make the connections that they want from that, or they can place a completely different meaning on it.
Yeah.
Which is a fun thing about art.
It's about identity a bit, you know, how we see ourselves.
That might be a bit political again.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Oh, Art Forever. Art for Windows, GitHub.
So there it is. That was me trying to do the famous D-paint, not very successfully, but the King Tut. I didn't draw the Art for Windows GitHub very well, but that was with the mouse, so it's quite hard to write with the mouse, isn't it? Like that with a few pixels. But...
Right. Oh, that's a good question, actually. Do you tend to use the mouse when you're making your teletext pages, or do you like to keyboard it?
No, I use the mouse for everything. Yeah, very rare to use the keyboard.
Is that
sorry?
Is that because it's the way that you learned? Oh, go on. Sorry, you were going to explain.
Well, yeah. Sorry, I don't know all the codes on the keyboard for alphanumerics, so I struggled when we did the when we do the communal paint thing every week, and I couldn't. It took me a few weeks to work out how it works. It's actually quite easy, but I find it's far quicker with the mouse. Yeah. And I use the tablet as well, but the tablet you can, I can use iPad, but it's not nearly as accurate as using the mouse. Not at all. Yeah. But it's fun to do sometimes.
Yeah, I can see that you've put quite a lot of effort into this with the different thicknesses of lines and the dithering. But you can still see that it's got that hand painted quality to it. Yeah, so you can tell that it's done with a mouse.
Yeah, I thought it'd be quite interesting to think. I was thinking, what can we do to update the Tut? We'll put a VR headset on it, So that's what that is.
I'm just going to scroll through a few more of your artworks, and if you want to say anything about them, or if anybody here wants to say anything about them, stop.
I better not get going. I better keep my mouth shut.
Yeah. Ritual.
Yes, I definitely think I should keep my mouth shut through most of this, but I'm sure people can work out some of these things, maybe.
Oh, there's Stonehenge again.
Solstice, yeah. I stayed up thinking of that word.
Oh, okay. Oh, look at this. Is it Space Invaders type thingy or a video game?
No, this is Zark. Did you ever play Zark? Did you ever...
What's that on? Is that on arcade?
On the Archimedes, on the Acorn Archimedes. Yeah. Post BBC Micro, that's what we were all doing in 1989, playing Zark. And then it went to the Amiga, and it's called Virus on the Amiga. So I came across this wacky idea in my head. I suddenly did I see a picture of it all and thought, I wonder what Zark would look like in Teletext. I didn't quite it was done, these things are done quite quickly, so I could have done it with a lot more detail, but because you had trees and rolling landscapes in Zark, but it was more, could somebody create a game nowadays in Teletext like Zark? I was trying to prod people to try and what's the word, get a bit of create a spark,
Yeah. I see what you mean. It's a little bit like when Steve Horsley single-handedly recreated worms in teletext form. But yeah, it's interesting to see what elements would be lost in the translation to a lower spec console, if you were. So that is an interesting thing to think about. And it's a sort of a concept, isn't it? A concept screen for it, concept animation.
It's a concept screen, yeah. I mean, when you look at the Atari 2600, that's a very good benchmark, isn't it, of some of the games.
Yes.
What they did with those limitations. Especially the 3D games. There's some really good 3D games on the 2600 that are quite knockout.
Could you make something like this with a BBC Macro, do you think, in Mode 7?
Well, it's possible. You could, but I think you'd have to get the speed of animation, you'd have to move everything in character blocks, not in pixels, maybe. But it would be interesting to see if somebody could at least do a demo, I think.
Yes.
It reminds me a bit of Thrust. Remember that game, Thrust, with the physics? That was 2D, but I don't know. Like I said in the teletext chat, Elite only managed 2 or 3 ships, didn't it, at most? So I don't know. It's quite interesting to see if it could be done, though. It will probably not look as sophisticated as that, but I might have to prod somebody to see if they can try and do that.
We need to get some game designers on board, don't we? Some enthusiastic teletext/game designers.
There are hardly any teletext games. Definitely, we need a few shoot 'em ups. I think teletext shoot 'em ups.
Did you see that somebody made Space Invaders in mode 7?
I was sorry.
Yeah, and then somebody did an April Fool's joke based on that, saying that you could get Space Invaders in CFAX, which I thought was really inventive.
Right. Yeah, I think we need a few more games. I'm tempted to try and do one myself. I have been thinking of it, that you might see browsing through, but it has been in my thoughts.
Yeah, something to think about for the future, I think. And
Mm.
Teletext is heading that way, I think. The more people that get involved, the more likely these projects are to come to fruition.
Yeah. It depends whether you want to do it in Unity or you want to do it in 6502. I don't know, Oh, is somebody banging on the ceiling? Have you got a spider up there or something?
There's a
ghost?
fly. It's a fly.
Oh, I thought it was a ghost.
I can hear it. There's a fly buzzing, so you may see it on the webcam flying into the camera. So, go on. What were you saying?
I think that's just giving me the idea for a piece of art after we've finished, right?
Oh, there you go. Write that down. And what was the other one that we came up with?
Oh gosh, there are many of them, aren't there? Well, with the Alistair one, when we're talking about level 2.5.
I'll have to rewatch the stream.
Yeah, I will as well. And we'll...
Oh, what's this? Another video game?
So there we are. That's my kind of thinking. Could we remake Microbe in teletext, but with 3D? And it'd be very interesting.
In Unity, did you say could be a way to do it?
Unity would be a way, but it wouldn't be pure teletext. So there's a few challenges there. I think if you want to get, the idea is, you see, what is that there's a game called Iridion on the Game Boy Advance, and it's very clever. It uses pre-rendered backgrounds. Iridion. It's a brilliant game. And I think one of the best games. Do you want me to swap that for you? 1 second, I've got something here. Okay. So I was thinking that imagine doing a game like that, but in teletext. This is what's been going through my head. Could I, because this is my favourite game, Microbe.
Okay.
Of all time. It's the first game I ever played that got me into computers. And so I'd like to pay homage to it. If the author and other people, I think Virgin published it, if they'd let me, and would be interested, it would be really great to redo this game, and maybe in teletext. That would be quite exciting. So that's a little mock-up.
Okay. Well, pardon me just 1 second. If you could just take a second to speak. I'm going to try and kill that fly, as you mentioned.
Right,
now,
let's...
Of all the things that I've been interrupted by in these live streams, it's weird. I don't think I've been interrupted by a fly. I've been interrupted by a mouse but not a
Have you?
fly.
It's quite
Yeah.
appropriate what you're playing on screen at the moment, and the fact you've got this fly in your room,
Almost.
isn't it?
Well,
Yeah.
Alistair said something in chat to Peter Kwan. I have a bug report for Muttley. Well, I have a bug report as well. I'll have one in a minute when I've killed it.
Okay. Well. Yeah, it begs now. It begs for an animation, this, or some picture, doesn't it? After we finished, of Dan trying to swat his fly.
For the Mode 7 games, you maybe have the game running on one of the co-processors, because you know people do the Pi co-processor emulators now. So
Yeah.
like on a gigahertz speeds equivalent 6502 or ARM co-processor or so on. So it could do all the 3D calculations like Elite did on the co-processor. And
Well,
then the Beebs just throwing teletext at the screen.
Well, the Iridium apparently was 2D bitmaps. So if you pre-rendered all the sprites, like that wasp or whatever you want to call it, that bug, in different positions, it's possible maybe you could get away with not doing it on a BBC Micro. But
it almost looks like one of those LCD handheld games there, doesn't it? The way that the blocks coming over the horizon are just in particular positions.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
They're not smoothly
yes.
scrolling.
No, I do know what you mean.
And disappearing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're quite cool, those games, aren't they?
What you mean technically?
For 5 minutes until the batteries go flat.
Yeah. I nearly bought one of those the other day. I remember. Yeah.
You know what? We could get one of those and hack it so that it displays teletext graphics. And I don't know if you've seen any of Ashens's videos that he's done of what would they called? Pop stations.
Pop stations.
Yeah. And all sorts of strange games that come from the East, like these knockoffs that you would get. But we could do something like that in teletext, I think, very easily.
Making custom LCDs isn't cheap or simple.
Oh, right. Okay. No, never mind. Forget it then. Forget it. Oh, bug report, by the way. I ushered the bee out of the window, so it's okay. I didn't kill it.
Oh, brilliant. It's a bee.
Well, no bees were harmed in the making of this stream.
Right, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
We do get a... Well, we get a lot of bees.
Adapt the animation then when we finish now, instead of the swatter.
Oh, yeah. To have a bee. Yeah. But there we go. Rothko. Rothko at the Tate in teletext, question mark, asks Matthew Brooks.
It certainly is, isn't it? Yeah. Has anyone been to see the Rothko, the Tate?
No. How long has it been there for?
Oh, many years, many years. The Rothko room.
Yeah, I might have seen it then at some point. Yeah. I'm trying to think. Yeah, most of the things that I've done in my life, I've forgotten.
Right, okay. I hope you enjoyed it at the time.
Yeah, but yeah, I probably did if I was there. Let's go through a couple more of these artworks. Hold on a minute. Frosty Caller 42 said, this, I think, reminds me of the ZX Spectrum. Yeah, it's very
okay. That's a compliment.
Are
you taking it as a compliment, or is it actually?
It's the dark side, isn't it? But no, I do. My second love affair was the Spectrum. So.
Oh, good to hear then. Good to hear you're not a Spectrum hater.
Oh no.
You know,
So
all
No,
those
no.
Commodore owners.
No Commodore here. Sorry, but those washed out colours. No, thank you.
so Carl is here. He says hello, but he won't be joining us tonight. But he says hello to everybody. Hello, everybody. That's from
Good
Carl.
evening, Carl.
Hello, Carl.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll go through a couple more of these, and then we'll move on to the next segment, if that's okay with everybody. Because we've got some viewer artwork that people, or a person has sent in. It's a bit Tony Hart, really. GeoCity. Yeah, I always
Yes.
like these. They remind me of a vaporwave movement and those sort of 80s looking scrollers. And what's in the background there? Is it skyscrapers or perhaps chimneys?
Well, it was sort of meant to be like, it was meant to be like a geodome. I was thinking of that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
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 But then was thinking of GeoCities and Yahoo and the early days of the internet. So yeah, I was imagining us traveling along the information superhighway to where we are now from the early days.
Oh, yes, and the binary on the road there.
The
ones
binary
and
on the road
zeros.
with your
Excellent.
modem, with your dial-up. Well, it'd probably be just past that, wouldn't it? But we remember that.
Well, it's funny actually, because I was looking at some of my old GeoCities websites this week and how bad they are, how cringeworthy. Oh, I'm having a little bit of a problem with getting Alistair back. But yeah, and looking back on how the 90s and the 2000s were a totally different time, when I think a time before MySpace, when everybody had their own little website, their own place on the internet, before the franchises and the companies took over all the social media thing. Everybody was all disparate and only connected by these web rings and maybe some forums or IRC, whereas now everybody's on the big social media websites. I don't know what's going on. We can't get Alistair to come in. If you're watching, Alistair, I'm trying to admit you, but something weird is obviously happening.
He's probably gone for another box of After Eights or something. He'll be back,
Yeah,
I'm sure.
To refill his box, yeah. So do you mind sticking around with us for a bit? Have you got to head off?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Not at all.
Because we're going to be looking at some of Sarah Burgess's art now that she submitted last week, but I never quite got round to looking at some worksheets. And then after that, we'll look at the weekly teletext art. We've had some entries, not as many as last time, but we do have some. While Alistair tries to rejoin, he's having some issues, I think, maybe to do with his internet, but let's have a look.
I regret not having done any weekly challenges for a bit. Yeah.
Well,
they've been geese, barbecue, speedboat. I've struggled a bit there, right?
Yeah, I'm really far behind on it, actually. ZX Guesser says, did I mention I hate Zoom? But what's happening at your end, Alistair? Let us know in the chat. And I am trying to admit you, but for some reason it won't let you come in. Let's have a look here. I'll just have a quick look at this and see if I can get this to work. It just says that he's joining. He's in joining hell, as they call it, joining limbo.
A bit like your bee.
Yeah. Oh, Zoom crashed again. Oh, here we go. He'll be back in a sec. So let's put the artwork back up. Okay, so there are lots and lots of different ways to make teletext. You might choose to draw directly into your editor, your computer-based editor, whether that's on Windows or Mac, or maybe even BBC Macro. But another way is the analog method, the analog method, the old-fashioned method of a piece of paper and a pencil. And we have some submissions here from Sarah Burgess, longtime viewer of the stream. who's actually in chat now, actually. Hello, Sarah. And these are her original drawings before these artworks were made into teletext artworks, before they were digitized, shall we say. I mentioned before about Frame It, and I think the children's sections on CFAX used to do it as well, where kids would fill out a worksheet a bit like this, and then an editor would take that and either scan it in or redraw it, digitize it in teletext. So here are some of Sarah's efforts. This is one of the earlier ones that she did, I think, a cat, and it includes some of her poetry as well. So if anybody wants to have a go at this, incidentally, the worksheets, they're available on teletextart.co.uk. And I think you can navigate to making teletext, drop down on that, and you'll see teletext worksheet that was a co-creation by myself and Peter Fagan, who may also be watching. Hi, Peter. But yes, you can see here that Sarah's done the outlines, but she's actually drawn the kitty first here, as you can see, and then pixelated around it the specific details and what it might look like. So, and you can also see the text mode stuff that she's got here. And actually the control codes here up in the left, top left. So yeah, that's just a great way of sketching out your artwork. If you're more of a drawer, I guess this is handy. And as we move on to another one, I'll say that over the years, I've run a lot of teletext workshops in a lot of different places. And this is one of the main ways that we get people interacting with teletext, is give them this worksheet and they instinctively know to fill in the pixels and to make a nice piece of pixel art. And then I find that's a good gateway to get people hooked on teletext. Alistair, are you there?
I'm here.
Yeah, excellent.
Whether
Good.
you can hear me or not, I don't know.
I can hear you. I'm not sure what happened, but yeah, Zoom is not the best, is it? But yeah, here is a frog out in the rain, as you can see. And actually, we've got some text mode characters up here. Oops. Some text mode characters in the slashes. So this incorporates rather, both graphics and text mode in the art sections. And once again, we've got, I wonder, is that held? The H could be held. You'll have to tell us about the codes there, Sarah. Because I do know Sarah was working on her own editor, I think. Was it made in BBC Micro? Yeah, it was made with a BBC Micro. It wasn't an emulator. I'm told you're not supposed to use the word emulator in regards to BBC Micro, but for to intents and purposes, it's like an emulator. And so these might be the specific markings that she uses to denote character codes in her own editor. So let's skip to the next one. Rose is so sweet. This could work as a tattoo, I think. And there we go. We've got Sarah's website at the bottom if you want to see the finished versions of our artwork. We'll do that in a minute, actually, and have a look at how these turned out. But yeah, we've definitely got held graphics to, I think it's held graphics to, or background to change the colors. Sarah's here, actually. She says, I found the worksheets very handy when I was starting out. Nowadays, I use them when dimensions are vital, for example, lettering. But I'm more comfortable with working directly in the editor now for graphics. So yeah, those are my own control codes for the editor. So absolutely, yeah, I suppose it was a good way to get started for Sarah, just literally drawing them out at first. So if you're thinking about giving TeletextArt a go, but it seems a little bit complicated and hard to get into, then print out a couple of these worksheets and just have a go at them. And then well, maybe to send them to one of us and we can digitize them for you here on the stream. So that would be a fun thing. And one more when it loads. I remember this one. This was from one of the block parties, or Chunky Fringe, I think. And why chemists say all your base are belong to us. And we've got the combinations of text and graphics down here. And I believe that's not blessed through. It is International Blessed Through Day, of course, but these aren't blessed through, I don't think. Blessed through text. And double height text, of course, at the bottom there. So, pardon me 1 second. I had to burp there. So, Sarah says her editor is in BBC Basic for SDL. I wanted to be able to draw on my phone, because that's an interesting point, because currently some tablets and phones don't work well with the programs that we've got out there at the moment, the ZXNets and the EditTFs. And that's not Alistair's fault or anything. It's just
it should work on Android if you plug a keyboard in or use a Bluetooth keyboard with your phone. I've not tested it recently, but it did work at one point.
I'm thinking in regards to the touch screen elements, because I've tried it loads of times on my iPad and it doesn't quite like it.
Because touch events and mouse events, unfortunately, are different.
Well,
trying to write code that supports both is a major pain in the backside, so I gave up.
Well, I mean, we'll soon have more editors for that. Actually, Pixelblip, what sort of support do you know? Or do you know what sort of support that Telepaint has for touchscreen?
Yeah, you just use it straight out the box with touchscreen.
Okay.
It's designed around touchscreen, really. But I'll be interested to use Sarah's one as well and try that out.
Does it run on iOS by chance?
It can, yes. It can run on Android, iOS, and all computers. Because BBC Basic runs on all these devices now. So but I think it's easier for people if they are able to run just an exe straight from the folder. I think people find it a bit fiddly starting BBC Basic up and then running the program. Although it's not really, but
yeah, so people can just download an executable, run that, and they don't have to do any of the fiddly bits. Okay.
That's right. On the computers, on the tablets, you do have to open BBC Basic SDL and then run the program. But
okay. I might have a go at that, because I'd like to have a go at touchscreen teletext. An interesting point, if you go on YouTube and search for the 2017 block party, there is a clip of Steve Horsley's touchscreen television, his touchscreen monitor rather, that he brought in. He burst in especially for the block party, I do believe. And you can see somebody actually drawing into edit.tf by touching the screen. And I thought that was really cool. So maybe we could set that up for a future block party again and invite people to have a go at it. It's just a very quick, user-friendly way of getting people to draw something, I think.
Yeah, it's very effective, that drawing, that just in itself there, isn't it? You know, it's a bit of art.
Yeah, well, in regards to this worksheet, Sarah says there is blessed through on the bottle label. So excellent. On this International Blessed Through Alphanumerics Day, it's very fitting that there is some blessed through here. And I'm guessing that, are they base chemicals or base metals, something like that? I'm not a chemist, Sarah. Is it base metals? Sodium hydroxide is not a metal, is it? I don't know. I don't know. So thank you very much for sending those in, Sarah. It was interesting looking under the hood at the analog method of making teletext. Sarah says she doesn't have a Bluetooth keyboard, so her editor is designed for the on-screen keyboard, though there are also nicer key bindings for physical keyboards. Have tested it under Windows. So that's, I suppose, another editor that everybody could try pretty soon, once that's released, if it is released. So thank you, Sarah. Thank you very much for that. And those, wonderful. Now, it's time for the weekly teletext art segment of the show. And we just so happen to have the king, the master of weekly teletext art, i.e. the one who selects the topics, in the chat with us now. Hello, Alistair.
Am I still here?
Hello, yeah. Glad to see the Zoom problems have been ironed out. So we've got Wim's Whisk here. So it was, what was it? It was Whisk and Night, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And that topic has rolled over to the previous week. So if anybody wants to have a go at that, please feel free. And we'll take a quick look at people's art right now that they've submitted. Here's a menu from Wim. Now, Wim has been very good at keeping up with these topics, a lot better than I have been. And a lot of different...
Wim is the person who's been prompting me in the Discord saying, is there not a thing this week? Have you not posted it yet?
Well,
pointing out that I've forgotten.
The only reason I'm not doing that is because I'm still on Snail and Jet Ski and all those early ones that we covered 5 streams ago. But we've got lots of kitchen implements here. So bonus implements, I guess, in addition to the whisk. And there you go. What was the pun that Peter posted in Discord regarding whisk? We'll have to have a whisk assessment before we make some whisk artwork. So there you go.
Do.
I don't know about that. I thought it was fantastic. So thanks, Peter. Let's see. Peter K says, I was a dangerous kid. I worked out how to extract sodium from NaOH. So I don't know what NaOH is. But yeah, you could use that sodium on your chips, I'm guessing. Or as baking powder. So thank you for that, Wimpy. Another fantastic artwork to add to his collection. Yeah. Whoops. Oh, we'll have to scroll down now because it's been so long since I got that artwork up. Here, oh, well, actually, this isn't an entry for Night and Whisk. I just so happened to stumble across it when looking through some of Andy's artwork. And it is a knight and his dragon. It doesn't include a whisk, sadly, but I'm going to count it as an entry because we haven't had many this time around and I want to critique some artwork. So there he is on his horse and he's being pursued by the dragon in the top right there, of course. And also you've got the towers in the top left. So a very deep artwork, this very intricate and detailed one. Don't forget the moon as well, which was a previous prompt on Weekly Teletext Art. So the only one we haven't had actually is Dragon. So maybe that's for next week. Who knows? It's for Alistair, King Alistair, to say.
You've put me in an awkward position there because I was going to say, I wonder if we should have a summer hiatus.
Ah, okay. Well,
because interest has tailed off. But if people want to draw dragons, I'm certainly not going to stop them.
Good point. But yeah, maybe a summer holiday might be good for Weekly Teletext Art. People can still work on the previous prompts.
You've obviously checked today, but I think only Wim has done anything this fortnight.
Well, we'll see about
there's
that.
Another one appeared.
Well, we'll see about that because over the last couple of days, more have appeared. This one was posted.
Right.
This one was posted yesterday, and it's by Mohamed Vidian Genial. Oh, look at that. There's another one as well coming up. So here is satay, the popular Southeast Asian skewered and grilled meat served with sauce. And it looks so good you could eat it. It looks delicious, doesn't it? I'd like to try that actually. Yeah. So is that it's being grilled? So that could potentially be being barbecued. Is barbecue grilling? I don't know. I'm not a culinary expert, but oh yeah, this is an attempt for the barbecue word. Yes, sorry. I should read, shouldn't I? I should learn to read. But yes. So we've got the hand up in the right corner here. Quite well realized, because I've said previously it's very difficult to draw hands, but maybe Fidian heard me say that because he's done more of them. And the red and white stripes here, they might represent something, I think. So if you're watching this on the replay, Fidian, let us know if this represents anything down here. And yeah, it's good enough to eat, isn't it? What do you think, guys?
Well, I've not had any tea yet, so definitely.
It's making you hungry.
I'm a vegetarian.
Ah, okay, right.
But it's very striking drawing, isn't it?
Yeah, the use of the colors and yeah, typical teletext black background makes the colors stand out a lot more, doesn't it? We've got a little bit of the dark blue up here, the blue, as it's known in teletext terms. So let's have a look at the snail as well while we're here, because I don't think that's been tagged. There it is. What's going on here? We've got there's a woman's head on the snail's back there, isn't there? Is that what it's supposed to be? Or is the woman eating the snail? I'm not sure. What do we think,
Is it
guys?
Princess Leia?
Is it? Yes, it could be.
And a curly walnut, what do you call them? What's the Danish pastry? Cinnamon swirl
Yeah.
stuck on each side of her head. And that's the shell.
It's quite surreal, isn't it, actually? Especially for Fidian's stuff. But once again, like the previous one, very striking on the black background. And you can tell that it's a branch or a limb that the snail is crawling on there. But quite strange, I think. Bit of a departure from Fidian's usual stuff. And here's Snail Noir, the black and white version.
It's got a touch of Edvard Munch about it, hasn't it?
Yeah, quite surreal in a way.
Maybe he's seeing the snail and going, yeah. Or the slug. Is it a slug or a snail?
I think it's a snail because it's got the thing on its back.
It has got the shell though, yeah.
Unless it is a slug being eaten by somebody. It's quite scary, the look on her face. So I don't know. Maybe he's cut her head off and used it as a shell. The killer snails. Oh, there's a B movie for you. And while we're here, let's have a look at Sir Doug stirring dough for baking a celebratory teletext cake. Oh, I love this. It's very cartoony. But what have we got up here on the shelf? Is that a thumb or a test tube or something? I don't know. His different ingredients for cake milot. The cake milot. And the eggs in the bottom corner. Yeah, nice fresh yellow eggs there. Free range from the farm. I noticed he's got a cape as well. Those little touches. Wonderful. So GK Max says, could the red and white stripes here be an apron? Potentially, yes. Could they be, is the Indonesian flag red and white? That's why I asked. And Sarah says, I really don't see Princess Leia. Or I didn't see it until you mentioned it, and now I can't stop seeing it.
Yes.
That's very good, that video. Yeah.
Yes, I can see me. Now she says that, maybe you can't get it out of your head.
Yeah, just like the Kylie Minogue hit. Maybe that's Kylie Minogue there, who knows? Moving on. So we've got here a spaceship. Well, I think spaceship was about 5 weeks ago, but here's my ASCII or ASCII style artwork of a spaceship. Nah, I know. King Alistair's not happy. He's going to have me beheaded and have my head put on a snail for that. But actually, I don't know if you noticed, Alistair, but there's an Easter egg here, and you might like this.
Easter egg.
Yeah, I'll give you a little bit of time to see if you can spot it, but it involves the link that we've got here. So if I click the link, you can see the ASCII, oh, dirty teletext ASCII artwork. But if we have a fiddle around with this here and put level 2.5 on, you can see that it's a little hidden Easter egg with the advanced graphics. And I can reveal that this was a collaborative artwork with Sarah, who offered to make this into a level 2.5 piece, just so we could prank you, Alistair, and say that it was ASCII and level 2.5 and other stuff that I don't quite understand.
And orange.
Orange, yes.
Oh my God.
That's orange flames.
I should say there's actually a newer version of this where Sarah's put a porthole in, and I'll have to get that on stream in a bit so we can show it. But yeah, this is supposed to be the rocket ship from Tetris. But he looks a little bit like, or it looks a little bit like a marker, which I thought was cool. Sarah says, we got you there, sort of. But yeah, if you go back to level 1, it looks a bit messier, but it isn't a complete disaster, shall we say. And maybe I should have put some different colors in there down here. I should have made these yellow. Can we click these? Yeah. Oh, wrong one. So live teletext editing. There, like that. Just to demonstrate how that would be done. There you go. I'm not sure I like it.
I forgot you could click on those.
Yeah, I know, because I can't remember I have no idea what the codes
they're
are.
not written next to it.
The keyboards, yeah. I need to learn them because we have them in all our editors, don't we? So there you go. Try it yourself. An ASCII, not ASCII teletext artwork.
Alphanumeric.
Yeah, is it alphanumeric? It's not blessed through, but it's alphanumeric. Yeah, blessed through alphanumerics. What's that look like now? Does that mess everything up in 2.5? Yeah, it does. The orange has been destroyed. So you have to be a bit careful, I guess, when you're editing for 2.5. But there we go. That's pretty cool, I think. Thank you, Sarah, for editing that. But Sarah says, so chuffed that we managed to trick you, ZX Guesser. Look at his face. Look at his face. You got punked.
I'm not sure what the trick was, to be honest. But there we go.
It wasn't a trick. It was more of an Easter egg, I think. So there you go. Excellent.
Is the school significant, or did you just type any old? Is there something about that school?
No, there's no relevance.
Oh,
maybe I should have made it say something like the letter numbers.
Like orange in numbers or something.
Yeah, exactly. We should have done that. To be fair, I didn't put a lot of time into the artwork, as you can probably tell. Otherwise, I would have made this area a bit more defined down here, where the clouds are coming out of the exhaust, or the fire is coming out. Right, so let's move on to the next artwork by Steve, just a dude. And it's the Dark Knight Batman. So he's a Batman type dude. And he's got his, there's definitely Batman because he's got the Batman logo on his shirt there. I assume he's also a knight, so maybe that's his suit of armor. And he's got his his fork and a plate. Or is it a whisk? I don't know. But there it is, Batman. Batman, rather, with two ends. A nice little character there, Steve. An original character. I'd like to see more of him. I'd like to see more artwork from you. It sort of looks like he's wearing a tank top or something. Or maybe a vest of some sort. But I love the fact that it is a plate instead of a shield. Or I assume that's the case. He's ready for his dinner. Wonderful. And once again, we've got the, it's more of an outline artwork than the solid artwork. More of the Pixelblip style, shall we say. Sarah says, Dan said that you, ZX Guesser, would be mad if we did ASCII art. So Sarah suggested the level 2.5 mosaics. Well, the idea tickled me. And I thought it was good too. It's something to fill the stream. I have to
get back into my good books.
Yeah, I need to do some more level 2.5, don't I? Excuse me. And more Easter eggs. So he's saying ye there. Ye. Oh, ye of little faith. Now, I guess he's an old-timey medieval knight. And one more. An old one. An inquisitive snail for weekly teletext art. He wants to know what you're doing in his garden. Now, it took me about 4 weeks to do this. Well, about 2 weeks I started it. 2 weeks ago I started it and finished it off a couple of days ago. Get it done for the stream, I thought. I couldn't decide on the background. But there he is, and he's looking a little bit inquisitive, but also a little bit, I don't know, tired perhaps, a little bit weary. Why are all these people in my garden? Get out of here. So that's what I imagine him saying. So Carl is here and says, sorry, I couldn't make this one. I assume he's talking about the stream there. So hello, it's Carl again. Oh, and who's that? Zor of Hardcore. He says that this is fun. What's that? Green salad. Yeah, it does look like he's in a salad there, as if he's about to be eaten. Yeah, maybe that's why he looks so angry. Oh, don't eat me. Ah. And as we're looking at this, Mars FS just liked this picture. Thank you. And you probably would have seen that happen in real time. Cool. So cheers, Mars. And thank you for all the work you've put into your editor and the artworks. And that concludes the weekly teletext art portion of this stream. So thank you to everybody that submitted again. We look forward to more being submitted, even if we do go into a summer hiatus. I mean, I'd like to do some more because there's lots I need to catch up on. Like, I'd like to do a Knight and Whisk one for a start. I've got an idea. It's just finding the time to do it. Well, there's the barbecue one. I think we talked about that last time from Jellica. But Jellica did post another goose-related artwork. Let's just have a quick look at that. There's his cat stretched out. Wonderful. It might be a little bit farther back. Oh, what's that? An old artwork there. It's got a cat on it.
I like that one. That's really good, isn't it?
Yeah, look at that. It reminds me of the texture that you used to get on chocolate biscuits, on animal, what are they called? Animal crackers and McVitie's chocolate biscuits.
Mm.
And the cat is a sort of, he's a neon cat, and I don't know, he might
cat.
He's a what, sorry?
Blobby's cat, surely.
Yeah, Mr. Blobby's cat in space. Yeah. Oh, please don't do that, someone. If someone does that, I'll scream. No, I won't. Somebody do
I've
that.
done
It'll
enough
be
Mr.
fun.
Blobby artworks
The
already.
Blobster. Oh, here it is. Mr. Blobby. Sorry to correct you, but it's Geese's. There you go. It's a nice background wallpaper, I think. Lots of different sizes. Maybe a little sprite map for geese. I enjoyed that one. Oh, right. Yeah. I've got to show the final version of the spaceship. So let's see if we can find that. Would you be able to send me the link to that, Sarah? Do you have it? Because I don't have it to hand, unfortunately. If you could send it me on Discord, that would be excellent, if that's not too much of a problem. And if there's anything else you'd like me to show in regards to that. And that goes for anybody, I guess. If there's anything you want me to show, we'll critique it.
Dan, did you, weren't we going to see Sarah's final, have you got them to hand after her drawings?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at that. Oh, thank you for reminding me about that.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'll type the address.
Jellica's work's very distinctive, isn't it? You know.
Yeah. Yeah, he has his own sort of style. I often liken it to yours, actually. It's nothing is quite like yours, but it reminds me a little bit of it. That sort of
the horizontal stripiness things,
yes,
isn't it?
The glitchy. He likes a bit of glitch, doesn't he?
Yeah. Well, everybody likes a bit of glitch, don't they?
Everyone does, indeed.
And let's have a look. I think we've got all the artworks associated with Sarah's worksheets to show here. Right, so I'll put those up on screen. Here's the chemist one.
Oh, yeah, that with the blast through.
Yep.
Text.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Blast through. Right, yeah. You can get that hydroxide right up next to the edge of the glass there with that blast through, can't you?
Yeah, that's something you can't do if you're squeezing in text mode. And we've also got some use of backgrounds as well in this part here, background and foreground text.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, I like the general design of this. It is quite scientific. I like a scientific diagram, which I do like. Yeah.
Yes, it's very effective. I like the chemist text, the font now.
Yeah. It's always good to see custom fonts in Teletext. And let's have a look at the next one. The roses one. And that's how the final product looks. So I think we've got, it's held graphics going on with the, I believe it is. Yeah, I think that's held graphics going on here in this area. Oh, right. Sarah has just posted the final rocket ship, so we'll look at that in a minute. But yeah, you've got the change from green to magenta there, and how we've still got the outline of the petals, which I like. That's good work. And I don't know, it reminded me of Guns N' Roses for some reason, just because it says roses. I think it's the general composition that we've got here that I really like, with the text at the top there. Yeah, like a tattoo, as I said previously. And if anybody wants to get a tattoo on their bottom, have that.
Noted.
Fantastic.
Does it have to be on my bottom anyway?
No, it could be anywhere else. Like any other appendage, like your hand, the back of your hand. So then you'll know it like the back of your hand.
Oh, boom, boom.
Hey, there we go. You're all here for dad jokes. So here's the frog in the rain, and you can't really get the full effect of that when it's drawn out in pencil. You need to see the colors and the change between the colors, as I mentioned last time. And this is really well realized, a nice little cartoon. Yeah, impressionistic. But that's due to, I think that's due to the nature of teletext, but it doesn't get much more intricate than that in terms of teletext when you're changing colors. So yeah, hats off for that one. It's a little frog. And does he have a lily pad to shelter himself from the rain? He's still smiling though. He's still happy, even though it's chucking it down, the typical English summer. And one more. So yeah, you can see the final versions of these and how good that looks with the yellow background.
Yeah, it turned out really well, that one, didn't it?
Yeah, and good use of colors there. The colors that really stand out on yellow are red and blue. So credit where it's due for the use of red and blue. I like yellow because it's better than orange, you know. There you go. A little.
Because you can't do orange. That would make a good kids book, wouldn't it? Things like that.
Yeah.
Nice
Actually,
and simple.
Yeah. If Sarah would consider doing more things like that, maybe she could publish them in a little book and sell them on her website, or have them printed for little zines at Blocktoberfest and things like that. Superb. So speaking of Blocktoberfest, hold on. As he goes into the dark.
Is he going to get some after eights?
No, sadly not, although I'd love to. I'd absolutely love to. On my potato cam, you won't be able to see this very well, but it's a Teletext block party. A Teletext block party poster from the year
like
2017. Oh, is it? Is this one?
I've got that on my wardrobe.
Is this one signed by Steve Horsley, though? I bet it isn't. What's that one there? Who's
Somebody scribbled on your poster, Dan.
There we go. What does that say there? Yeah, I can't read it. Orange is Teletext. Raquel Myers. Yeah. Look at that wonderful graffiti text there. And Steve Horsley at the bottom. Wonderful. I found that actually this week when I was going through some of my old stuff and having a clear out. 25th and 26th of February at the Center for Computing History in 2017. So I'll leave that in the background. I wish I could prop that up.
It's very striking, isn't it, that image?
Yeah. I've always enjoyed that. That was a promotional image that Steve did for us. It came as a set of posters, actually. There's one with
5 or so, weren't there?
Yeah. Is this like one of 700? It's one of a kind because it's been signed. There you go. So nobody out there can have that. It's mine. There you go. Right. So let's, if I can get this up, have a look at Sarah's completed rocket ship. I can just do a bit of pruning with my tabs. Yeah. Chipfork says the tattoo needs to be on your bum so that reveal works. So when you pull down your pants, I guess.
No comment.
No. Well, I've already commented, so too late for that. So here's the rocket ship. Have that tattooed on your bottom. I mean, it's fantastic, that, isn't it?
Certainly with the porthole, yes.
This definitely improves things down here because you've got more definition between the what are they? The exhausts and the clouds and the fire and all of that. And at level 1, there you go. It's my rubbish artwork again. It's just like magic, isn't it?
It is like magic. I can't get used to this level 2 stuff. It's going to take a while for me to acclimatise to it. Yeah, it's quite different, isn't it, from the other one?
Yeah, I think still at the moment we have to do a bit of manual editing to get the level 2 mosaics to work, but it can be really, really effective, I think. I'd actually like to get this on TFAX so we can look at it on a TV. what I'm going to do is I actually have another TV somewhere in the attic, and I'm going to set it up here somewhere so that maybe during the streams we could have a TV going in the background so you don't have to see my bed or whatever. And we can show some things like this on actual teletext. That would be good.
I can't get over the fact you can do diagonals like the, yeah.
I know, it's quite surreal.
Weird. It's weird. I can't get my head around it.
And they came up with this in the 80s. You just think all of the years of stuff we could have had with more colours and high resolution if it had caught on. But I think the hardware was too expensive. And then by the time it was cheap enough, teletext was old hat and nobody could be bothered with it. It's a shame.
Can we get that person playing the trumpet to come in and do a song for us? Why not?
It's Miles Davis.
Oh no, he's muted and he's what's he doing? Hold on a minute.
Kind of blue.
What did you say there, Alice?
It was probably got his broom out. Wait, can't you blooming well shut up?
I was just shutting the door.
That was great.
Maybe next week we could get them on. You know,
trumpets and ukuleles. You think?
For like a gallery section like Tony Hart with the trumpet or something.
Teletext Sofa Club bingo. So we've had the bee interrupting us. We need a mouse, and we've ukulele. And the trumpet. Is it a trumpet?
It's a cornet.
A cornet. Oh, I've tried to play a cornet. It's really difficult. I don't have the lung capacity for it. Yeah, and it really hurts your cheeks. I don't know. Maybe my technique is wrong. The way I'm,
You're not supposed to inflate your cheeks. That's why.
You're not supposed to suck. That's why you're supposed to blow.
Right. Sounds like those cola cubes, doesn't it? Right.
Yeah. Sorry. Excellent. Right. So I think that's a good cue for us to move on to the collaborative artwork, unless there's there are any more comments in chat. Let's have a look quickly. People have been chatting away to themselves and I've been ignoring them probably. Lance Darren is here. Hello, Lance. Oh, that's Mars, isn't it? Hey, Mars. Good to see you here. And thank you for liking some of the artworks on the Weekly Teletext Art Challenge. And Sarah's taking the mickey out of you again, Alistair, in Disco. So there you go. Right, let's move on to the what is it? The collab artwork.
I'm disappointed you didn't show my Cowsay demonstration.
Yeah, well, did I post that? I did, didn't I? I can scroll through and find
I
that.
replied to the rocket on Twitter.
Yeah, that's it. Let's have a look for that.
Just to explain to people why you're ribbing me about ASCII.
It's a really good piece of teletext text art. I think that's the technical term for it, isn't it?
It's supposed to be bad on purpose to demonstrate the problem.
I thought it was good. Well, we'll look at it now, and I'll explain why I actually like it. Because it's fairly inventive. We've got the teletext cow says teletext is not ASCII. And we've got the British character set codes here. But then we've got the teletext cow's German cousin saying, video text is nichts ASCII.
So this is a program on Unix and Linux and so on called Cowsay, where you run the program Cowsay and a message, and it makes you a little ASCII art cow saying your message in a speech bubble. So I ran this when you'd mentioned ASCII before. I'd made these. So the half symbols in the English and the lowercase o umlaut in the German, they should be in ASCII. They would be a backwards slash. So that would complete the the edges of the speech bubble,
Right.
and the line of hash symbols in the English, well, you can see in the German that they're underscore symbols.
Yeah.
But there's no language you can put it in where the right things come out, and the legs should be just a single straight line. So the English cow's got 8 legs because it's not ASCII, and so on.
Right. I thought it was still good. I mean, you've got
This was just my demonstration that it wasn't ASCII by doing something where all the symbols would come out wrong.
Well, you've demonstrated that it works in both character sets because we've got the up arrows here for the British teletext cow, and the video text cow has umlaut ears, which still work very well. You umlaut ears.
Lucky accident.
Ligature. Yeah, well, you could say that. But half of everything is luck, and the other half, fate, according to James Bond. So, I think it's time for the collab artwork. What do you reckon? And here it is. Oh, somebody's already started it. Who's this? Who's been on page 125 of Artifacts?
Who can say?
I know who it is. They're sitting not far away from here. Peter says, Cornet versus ukulele. I'll need my 200 watts PA. Yeah, that's good, isn't it? If indeed that is you drawing that, Alistair, that's wonderful. I like it. How long have you been spending on that?
Myself while everything was broken and you couldn't hear me.
Oh, it's a good start to the artwork. That I've posted it in Discord for the ones who want to have a go. And as usual, we've set up this grid with completely graphics mode, so you can use Bless Thru. Oh, I guess not. Yeah, there we go. Blast Thru. Alphanumerics, or you can use the Q, W, A, S, Z, and X keys on your keyboard to fill a cell, and then use the cursor keys to move the cell about. So let's say that you just load the link. You see this, hit escape, and then you can start moving the cursor around. If you want to exit, hit it again twice. I'm not going to explain how you input character codes just here, but if you want to have a go at that, you can go away and look at the documentation, etc. But for now, have fun, play away. So let's see here. The stream just went off there. We're still on the air though. Yeah, excellent. So this week's theme, do we have one? Blast through, I guess, but I guess you can blast through the wall down here with your alphanumerics. Wonderful. I'm gonna add something up here. Let's see. No. There you go. I don't know German very well. Somebody's going to have to correct me on that. But there you go. Diese App ist fantastisch. Yep, somebody's going to say it's wrong in a minute, and I've made a spelling mistake.
My kingdom for a mouse.
Ah, yeah, that's the problem with this. You can't use a mouse, can you? But we'll have some fantastic Cornet music in the background while we work away at our artwork. So let's see. How's everybody's week been? Good, bad, indifferent?
Same as usual, really.
Yeah.
Rubbish.
Rubbish, yeah. Well,
we've all been at work. What? How else would it be?
Yeah.
The weather's not very pleasant today, but it's all right the other day. Got some mowing done on Wednesday.
Yeah. Do you do some ground maintenance for cricket? Alistair?
Yeah, I mow the cricket field.
Right. Are you technically a grounds person then?
Yeah, technically.
Yeah, that's cool. Do you know anything about? Do you just roll the pitch, or do you prepare the pitch or anything like that?
This year, well, and last year, the senior cricketers are looking after their own wickets, so they're coming down in the evenings and cutting the strips with the wicket mower and getting out on the roller. But I mean, I do sometimes when it's the ground's soft because it's rained overnight and so on. My dad will say, "Do you want to go out and give tonight's wicket a quick roll or whatever?" Right. So I do a bit of that, but mostly they're looking after it themselves this year, which is good. But I look after the outfield. Right. We've got a old Massey Ferguson 35 and a set of gang mowers. So I just drive around in circles all day mowing the grass. And it is all day. I mean, it can take. Sometimes I'll be out there on the tractor for 4 hours getting sunburnt.
Really?
You know.
Is it fun though? Is it like a nice serene way to pass the time?
I enjoy it. It's sort of meditative. It's the only sort of time when I'm not like on a computer distracted, because when you're driving around in circles, you've got to have enough concentration on driving around to not crash into trees and things, but at the same time it doesn't take much concentration, so you're kind of in that bored zone where it forces you to not distract yourself for a bit,
right? Which
is good.
Yeah, so you
don't get many chances to be bored these days with internet and mobile phones and things, do you?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that sounds sort of appealing to have something that you can get away from the computer with, and it's sort of the polar opposite, isn't it, of sitting at your computer? It's just so it's something different.
I mean, obviously, you could say, well, you can always just not spend all day on the computer, but it's not as easy as that.
Well, that's hard these days, isn't it?
I think it's difficult to be bored, and I think this is. I don't know whether it is important or not, but certainly I don't think there's not a way for children to be bored now.
Yeah,
because there's so much to do. You know, there's TV channels just for children's television on all day, CBBC and CBeebies and so on. And there's the internet, obviously. I think back to how we used to be bored, that once you'd watched the 20 minutes of cartoons on BBC Two in the afternoon, you couldn't watch any more cartoons because there weren't any on, so you had to find something else to do.
I think that's right.
So, I think there's a skill to being bored, which people don't learn anymore.
Yeah, I've become really bad at being bored, I think. I always feel like I need to do something, and
it's so easy to distract yourself, isn't it? You just, I'm feeling a bit bored, I'll just look at Twitter on my phone.
Yeah.
And then half an hour later, you realise you've been looking at Twitter for half an hour. But you never get a chance to stop with your own thoughts. And, well, it's meditation, basically, isn't it?
Yeah, well,
a chance to just slow down and not think about things for a bit. I find it very difficult to switch off.
Yeah. Well, that's what I do teletext for, so I need to find something else, don't I, really? I need to take up mowing, whatever it's called. Is it as fun as Advanced Lawn Mowing Simulator?
Much more fun. It's 3D.
3D Advanced Lawn Mower Simulator.
Yeah. I mean, you might think, well, surely mowing a field is two-dimensional. But we've got sort of this one end of the field that's got a bit of a slope on it, and there's like banks of grassy banks and so on. So you have to be careful of those to not get the tractor up on the slope.
Right.
And it's not just a square field, it's got lots of awkward corners that once you drive the tractor into them, you've got to sort of plan your escape route so you don't get trapped in the corner. mow things in the right order so you don't go over the same bit of grass 3 times and keep missing the bit you want to cut. There's a slight amount of skill to it. It's not just driving around in circles.
Well, I can imagine that. Oh, Peter K says all nouns are capitalized in German app, and he's corrected it for me. Thank you. The German speakers in chat and those that understand German, very helpful. Thank you. I mean, between
There's
us,
somebody who is watching this, somebody I know who is watching this, who isn't in the chat or in Discord, but in another chat, they've just posted always about the tractors. So hi, Pete.
Well, do you always talk about the tractors on other streams, etc., or wherever else you are?
Yeah, this
Discords?
is in IRC, and I'm forever going on about tractors. It's supposed to be a ZX Spectrum channel, but I turn the conversation around to tractors.
Is there a tractors Discord? There must be.
There is, yeah.
Are you a part of that as well?
I'm in a Discord which has a tractors channel.
Right, yeah. There's no shame in that. You say it as if it's, oh, dirty secrets. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's not as bad as Teletext, is it? I mean, you would go around saying...
There's more people in the vintage vehicles one than there is in the Teletext one, I'll say that.
Right, yeah. I can imagine. I can imagine. So this, I think, is supposed to be a dog, but I don't know. Needs a bit of work, I think.
If you don't know, I don't know who does.
Well, it was supposed to be a cow at first, and then I changed my mind. Oh, Sarah says, oh, my machine decided to switch itself off at just the wrong moment, just as Dan was writing some German. Well, unfortunately, Sarah, Peter has corrected me before you got the chance. So he deprived you of the satisfaction of correcting me. But you can correct me again if you wish.
I realised you can't type into the teletext by clicking on Zoom. That doesn't work. I just tried to edit your screen share.
Oh, brilliant. Birds or stink flies? Good question. I think there must be birds. Sarah's patented bee birds. I think they are. Right.
Well, I've got your bee there, Dan.
Oh, did you draw the bee?
I did, yes. I struggled, but I just got there.
Is this a tennis racket here, or is it?
Well, yeah, it's some sort of swatter. Yeah, I should really. I'd like to draw a window in at the side, but I don't think I'm going to be able to. So we'll just have to imagine.
I could draw the window.
What there is one pick character left, isn't there?
Oh yeah.
At the side, but you might be able to if you're creative with some blast through text.
Oh yes, blast through. Of course. I don't think you could fit it, could you? Oh, I've wrecked it. It's an IOV now. Right. Yeah, there's no room, is there really? I'll have a go. I'll have a go at drawing a window. But yeah, I can confirm that the bee was totally fine. I just sort of ushered him out of the window. I mean, we can't be going around killing bees. We get a lot of bees in our garden because we've got flowers and things, but they sort of hang out in the back and crawl about.
We've got a heather bed in the lawn, and the bumblebees go absolutely mad for that.
Yeah.
You go out in the spring, and the whole thing is just going bzzz. Great massive pile of them.
Well, I guess those are quite like the ones that we've got. They're just wild flowers that we let grow, and the bees absolutely love them. They stay away from all the other stuff that
This sounds like an excuse for not cutting your lawn to me.
Well,
We just have a wildflower meadow. It's fair enough.
yeah, basically. Well, I need to employ you to come down and cut it for us on your roller or whatever it is, your lawnmower.
Tractor.
Yeah, that's it, tractor.
Bit difficult to mow gardens with the tractor.
We could have a large garden. We have a cricket field in our garden.
Cricket lawn, cricket field.
Yeah.
Also a bit difficult to get there. This tractor does actually, it is registered for going on the road.
Yep.
But it's not got number plates and stuff fitted.
Right.
But it could have. It is registered. But driving it all the way to Wigan, I think it took me 4 hours in the car, and the tractor only goes at 12 miles an hour. I won't be able to come on the motorway either.
Take you forever.
Might take me a few weeks. I don't think the playfield will be too impressed with me using their diesel for it either.
So yeah, were you out mowing the field today? Did you say? I think you said something about that.
On Wednesday.
Wednesday, right?
It's been raining all day today. Well, drizzling.
Rained off.
Well, it was junior cricket tonight, Fridays, and before the junior cricket, we have the All Stars cricket, which is for the 5 to 8 year olds or something. It's an ECB scheme.
All right.
Whether they don't play sort of proper cricket, it's like little training games and so on to keep their attention, but only being little ones.
That's good.
It was drizzling, but drizzling before that started, and as we were doing that, it came on stronger and stronger. So I was quite soggy when we finished. The children don't mind; they don't even notice it's raining.
I used to really like quick cricket when I was in school, the indoor sort of version.
Yeah, it's similar to that. Did you used to have the plastic bats and stumps and so on?
We used to weight it with sand
or water in the bottom. Yeah, we have the same for All Stars. Uses the same plastic stumps, and in fact, so does the under nines cricket uses the plastic stumps and bats. But we do the quick cricket's got some weird rules. Which unfortunately some of the children do quick cricket at school, and then they come to do proper cricket with all these confusing rules stuck in their head, and then trying to train them out of it again. Like they hit the ball and they drop the bat and run away, and it's like, no, you've got to take your bat with you. You can't leave it there.
Oh right, okay, yeah, because you've only got one bat.
Yeah.
But there's also one-handed off the wall we used to play. Sometimes one-handed on the bounce as well. I don't know if that's still legal in indoor, whatever it is, quick cricket. We need to incorporate some cricket or rollers into this artwork, don't we? Oh no, I've started something now. So Peter K says, Peter Kwan, my mother was German, but I never learned much apart from buying food, beer, and train tickets. Well, I know even less. But between us, I think we could manage in Germany. We'll just speak English, but louder. Spec Best Stuff is here, and he's got a little ZX Spectrum as his avatar.
That's
Hello.
Pete, who was ribbing me about tractors.
Hello, Pete. Welcome to the stream. I assume you're a newcomer to the Teletext stuff, but then assuming makes an S of you and me. So I don't know, maybe you know all about it. Maybe Alistair has told you about it. in between his rolling down the river. Are you moving the dude over? What's his name? Does he have a name? Is it Kilroy? Kilroy was here, it used to say. That's not the name of the dude, though, is it? Peering over the wall.
Chad, was it a name? For
Chad.
it? I can't remember.
There we go.
I mean, how old do you think I am down there? Was it popular in the 40s or 20s?
Yeah.
Something?
Well, it's still used these days, isn't it? It's pervaded. So Pete says, I'm fairly new, meaning to do a bit of teletext art soon. Well, maybe if you scroll back a little bit to when we were talking about, I'll time code it later. We were talking about teletext worksheets. You might like to have a go at that. So you can draw it out on a piece of paper first. Or you might like to just draw into the editors that we've got. I guess if you've used paint programs before and old computers, it's a lot like that. We can use the mouse or the keyboard because we've got a variety of different skills here. We've got people that can use the mouse and people that use the keyboard. So both are welcome. All are welcome. So no bees, no honey. Yeah. That's why we mustn't kill them. No bees, no honey. Sounds a bit digitized now, doesn't it? My window doesn't really look like a window, does it? Let's have a look if I can improve that a little bit.
Is that you drawing that tractor? Very good.
We've given him the license.
Don't know, I'm going to draw me sat on it though.
I love that music. It's so soothing.
Yeah, they're quite,
I forgot I had my foot on the pedal.
they're quite good, aren't they?
Yeah.
I think next week we'll have to get them into the room while we're doing this and get them to play.
We'll have a little performance. Oops. Yeah, another Teletext Art live performance. Oops. Oh, GK Max says, that's Mr. Chad. It is Mr. Chad, which is a great name, I think.
Now the question is, should I draw the exhaust pipe like it is on the tractor or like it's supposed to be on the tractor?
Well, you can take a
Because I
lot
had
of...
a little incident with a low tree branch.
I was going to say you can take liberties with teletext as long as it's recognizable as a tractor. I don't think anybody would notice.
Do you think they'll discover these paintings in 200 years and like caveman paintings or something?
Yes. They might make certain assumptions about humankind based on these. Like, this is the way they made art on these primitive things called computers. I wish Andy Jenkinson were here. He's really good at drawing windows. Well, now it looks like the bee is going to be smashed into the window rather than coaxed out of it. Hmm. Oh, there we go. Somebody's drawing something up here. I wonder what it is. Be careful, bees. Be careful, don't kill bees. There.
Wow, I'm amazed you've got a window in there, Dan. Stunning.
So it's a rocket ship. Or the Empire State Building, perhaps. It's resting on top of the window. Look, I'll clear this away so you have more room to do it. What's going on? It's turned orange. The text turned orange.
Stop that immediately.
Using orange. So has nobody corrected my grammar in the Deezer app is fantastic, because I have no idea if it's right. Is there an R in Deezer? Or is there an E after fantastic? Oh, there's a dude playing football.
Very topical.
Oh yeah, because of the Euros, of course.
In the German game next week, for those that are interested.
Yeah, next Tuesday, isn't it?
No football. Football season's finished. We've taken the goalpost down.
Cricket now, cricket.
Yeah. Can't have footballers churning up the field.
Well, the England cricket team play tomorrow. There's that. So I don't know if the dog there is playing football. Maybe he is. Let's see if we can give him some spots on his ears, and make it look good. Oh. We're missing the cornet right now, because I can't think of anything to say. Oh, there it is. Oh, what's going on? Corrections are going on with these app is fantastic. Maybe it's Frauke Langut that's joined us. Of odd text. Yeah, is she the director of odd text, or the head? Hold on a minute. She is the. Oh, that's not it. Hold on. I need to see the light here. Because I actually no, that's not her. I've got Frauke's card here, a business card. That's the one. There it is. Hold on, I'll put it on full screen so you could see that. Frauke's business card. I just happen to have it. And she's the director, so we can confirm that. Well, the focus isn't very good, but it says director. Oh no, later in it says not director. What does that mean? Our German friends, what does that mean? That showed up really, really badly on my potato cam, didn't it?
It's really something when my webcam isn't the worst one in a stream.
What are you going to do? I'm going to have to buy
Mine's not even a webcam.
Is it not? Is it? What is it? A phone?
Will that work? Yeah, look.
Hold
It's
on.
an old phone wrapped in Lego, balanced on top of the screen.
Oh, you showed us that in Discord before, didn't you?
Yeah.
That's great. Wonderful ingenuity there. Magical. So Peter says, if you see orange text, that means that it isn't yet saved. When your changes get saved, it sets the proper color. So that's regarding Mutley and the server. I assume, oh yes, we've got the flashing graphics over here.
I wonder how easy it would be to put a sort of like a pixel on, pixel off thing in this, so you could just keep moving along with the cursor keys. But if you switch pixel on, not that I don't mind using the codes, but perhaps that's part of the fun actually. Just you trying to figure out the combinations.
Which keys are you using at the moment?
You know, I use the ZX, AS, QW. They were quite nice, but maybe it's sacrilege, you know, if you could have a button that would just do sort of pixel on and you could just move the cursor key across the screen and it would keep plotting a point until you put pixel off. I wonder, do you think that's a bit too sophisticated? Do you think that's a bit too faffy? I find it quite difficult doing it this way, but maybe it gives the image a different look because you have to do it this way. I don't know. You know, Peter's probably going to think, oh, yeah.
The difficulty always with doing special things for the teletext, the mosaics, is that teletext is so intrinsically character based that you write all of your code around the 40 by 25 character grid.
Yeah.
And then somebody says, oh, I want to do stuff on the 80 by whatever it is, 75 pixel grid. And in the code, it's like, well, they don't really exist. They're not.
I see what you mean.
You have to sort of convert back and forth between them. It's not.
Yeah.
Everything's possible, but it adds a huge. You've got to constantly translate backwards and forwards between the two,
like pixels and characters almost.
Which is why I didn't want to do plotting rectangles and things, because all of my cursor. Well, I've got the cursor code for clicking on pixels, so I do the calculation to work out which character cell it's in. But
mind you, we always
seem to all the things I would have to change. I went, oh, that's maybe if I rewrote it from scratch, I would build those things in.
Fair enough. Although we always seem to manage to do a picture anyway, don't we? Regardless of how difficult I find it.
It's like on Edit TF, you can rotate a block of pixels. You can select a block of stuff and rotate things, shift it across the page a pixel at a time, left and right and up and down. And I thought about how you would do that, and it's kind of fiddly and complicated. So that's something I might do at some point, because it shouldn't be too difficult, because it doesn't affect anything else in the code. So I should be able to add that. But it's just getting around to doing it, really.
I suppose once you know these keys and you get familiar with it, it's probably quicker than using a mouse or cursor keys, isn't it? You know, drawing out codes. But I managed to get the B drawn tonight, and I didn't think I could. So that what a
It is really difficult to draw with the keyboard at first. You really need to get used to it.
Yeah.
But
I guess when you're doing stuff together, maybe you do need to do it like this because of the nature of the fact you're sharing things and characters and stuff, you know.
And once you're used to it, it's so much faster than doing it with the mouse. When you want to colour in a big area and you just think, have I really got to click on every single pixel?
Right, yeah.
Like painting a wall with a toothbrush.
Yeah. But yeah,
on my editor, I added things to make filling in large blocks even faster. So you can select an area. I call them edit areas, where you select out a region, and then you can use Control F. Will fill that whole thing in with solid graphics blocks, and I think it's Control D will fill it with the dither pattern, and Control R will reverse all of the pixels and so on.
I see.
So you can do really big areas at once. So if you want to, fill in the top half of the screen, or with cyan for the sky, and before you put some stuff in, you can just select the whole thing and do it, and it's like one key press fills in the whole screen.
Yeah.
Because again, I got sick of doing F to fill, and then right key F, right key F, right key F, right key F across the whole page.
Yeah.
I like Kievs. I had one for tea.
Kievs.
Yeah, I just messed
Nice
that
Kiev
up.
and chips.
Yeah. Sorry.
Oi, you! What are you doing to my swatter?
Accidentally messing it up.
Oi, you! I
Yeah.
know your game.
Yeah, I'll have to fix it.
So when we finish, I've got to do the animation. That was what it was, wasn't it? The ship flying with the level 2.5. Work out that, and the bee.
Yes, it was the bee, wasn't it? Oops.
Maybe you jumping up and down on your bed with a swatter trying to get it.
Do you want me to model for you?
I can quite imagine it. It's all right.
That's my swatter. It's just a teletext remote.
Oh, right. Okay. It's a remote. All right. That does help. Yeah.
Oh, it disappeared.
Well, they should put that in a gallery, that one, shouldn't they? Quite frankly, it should be in the tape with the Rothko.
Yes, of course. Wait a minute. It's just somebody just corrected my mistake there, and then I've put it back. Sorry. I'm just playing around with the rocket ship. Sorry. Yeah, to whoever drew it, I think it's Sarah's. There we go. Blasting off. No beans, no honey. Imagine honey flavored beans. Beans.
Oof.
There you go. Change that to beans. It's a bit of a protest artwork, isn't it? Save the bees.
Yeah. No beans, no honey.
It doesn't fit. Oh, Venus likes bees. It just fits. Excellent. We can move that along, though, can't we?
Oh. That's it. Nice and centered.
He's kicking a massive football. It could be a medicine ball. See if I can. No, there's no space to do a goal behind him, I don't think. Who did the dude playing football? I'm messing him up.
Oh.
Oh, what happened there?
You could have him hugging another footballer with
Yes.
a big warning sign through it.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, they don't like them hugging, do they, due to coronavirus? Yeah, I remember that. The Furore. Is it still a Furore? Because I remember it being news for a bit and then everybody forgot about it.
Yes, that is the case for most things nowadays.
Yeah. So Peter K says, how Horsenberger does graphics. He blocks out the whole picture in rough using F. Then he refines the edges like a sculptor. Yeah, that's a good way to do it. And recently I've found myself doing that as well for certain pictures. So I've copied from him, basically. You've copied from the best. He's a very... Oh, what was that?
Oh, is that, is that me?
Bong.
But that's the sound that I need to go and eat my iced donut.
Ah, okay, excellent. So,
Yeah.
are you going to be finished with us tonight then?
I think so. I mean, I'll go now, but I will watch
Right.
and see the final artwork. Yes, I'll because I've got to crack on with my level 2. I might combine it all into one project, like a B with level 2 animation, maybe, or something. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Okay. That would be good. Would be good. Hey.
Oh dear,
Hey.
there we are. I fell into that trap, didn't I?
Yeah. No. Seriously, we'd love to see that. And it's been an honor, a pleasure to have you here tonight, to see some of your artworks and hear a little bit of director's commentary, the reasoning behind the art and all that stuff. Fantastic.
A pleasure. It's been nice to speak to you all, and maybe we should keep up the weekly teletext challenge. I mean, just because it's the summer holidays is no excuse, is it? So, but I want to talk, aren't I? So, hypocrite. So maybe I'll try a goose picture, or muster up a barbecue one, a vegetarian barbecue picture. Something.
Yeah. Yes.
But have a spiffing weekend, everybody.
Absolutely, we will. And you have a wonderful weekend as well.
Thank you,
Mr.
Thank
Pixel.
You.
And we'll look forward to seeing you on future streams and indeed your artwork in the Discord, etc.
Okie dokie. Keep teletexting, people.
We absolutely will. Keep teletext alive.
Yeah. All right. Take care. Bye, Alice.
See ya. Wonderful. So hello to Jason Robertson. Sorry, I didn't say hello earlier. I think he's still with us. I wonder what he's been recovering of late. What have you been recovering of late, Jason, if you're still with us? Good stuff, bad stuff. I'm trying to think. Were you recovering some 70s stuff, actually, the other week? Was that what I was looking at? I'm trying to remember now. Yeah, so sorry, Sarah, I'm ruining all of your artwork, all the bits that you're doing. I like to think I'm improving them, but really I'm ruining them. Yeah, Sarah says the football dude is hers. You try drawing a smaller ball. And then Alistair says it needs G3 mosaics.
That's you can do the little circles.
Yeah.
Like on the space rocket.
Do you remember the rocket lolly?
Rocket lollies, yeah.
Yeah. Do they still do them?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yellow rocket with a red tip on the nose cone.
Yeah, something like that.
Or
We
is
could
it
do that.
red at the top, orange, and then yellow at the bottom?
Well, something like that, yeah. Sorry. Just put that back because I've made it worse somehow. Ah, right. So Jason has recovered, is it CFAX from 8th of April 1993? He's been posting that of late, or recovered that of late. Was there any good stuff on there? I was looking at it, I think, on Twitter. I really don't look on Facebook anymore, though I should. So I don't know what's going on over there. I know somebody, I think, yeah, it was Peter, or maybe Tammy, posted a selection of photographs from old block parties and chunky fringes and things like that, which was nice. So that's on the Teletext Discord group, if you want to have a look. Maybe posted a while ago now. I think I'm going to put a porthole on this. Channel 4 was the recovery by Jason.
Oh, 93 Channel 4.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, who needs some of that?
Yeah, our guest from last week, Mr. Chris Bell.
I was thinking the Turner archive.
Ah, right. Yeah, oh, yeah, of course.
I'm sure it'll all make its way to the relevant people in due course. It usually does.
Sarah says she doesn't mind me changing her stuff, which is good because I've been doing it all night, and I always do it probably. I'll leave that alone now, though, because I think I've ruined it. I've definitely ruined it.
It's a little man playing football, but his head is a light bulb.
Oh, yeah. Well, I always find that makes it easier to score goals. I don't know. Yeah, I think the best part of this artwork is the Killer Was Here thingy that you've done there, Alistair. Oh, the bee, I like the bee as well, though. Somebody is improving the spaceship. Oh, right. Jason says the recovery was after hours. The digitizer already exists. What's on the after hours? What was there? I'd like to know. Because it's always cool if you find a bit more of the turn of the screw stuff. I think we've shown some turn of the screw stuff on the stream, haven't we? Tim Bisley found a new cartoon. Oh, new to us anyway. And I think I showed that, didn't I? If not, we'll have to show it. You know who I miss? V-Bert. We've not had him on this show for a long time. Maybe he'll be back next time. I mean, the V-Birds just remind me of V-Bert somehow. Oh, there wasn't an after hours. Oh, yeah. Right, okay, sorry, I misread your comment there, Jason. I read it as no comma after hours, but I should know better than that, shouldn't I? Being a master in what is it? German. The Deutschmeister, I guess, would be the German for that. The German master. Peter K says the Rocket is now a Lego footballer. I said, yeah. It is, isn't it? I like it. I like it a lot. Some good little pictograms tonight, actually. Is that what you call them, pictograms? A pictogram is like the little symbols you get on a toilet. The men and women.
On a toilet? Oh, I see.
Yeah, that's a pictogram, isn't it?
Yeah. I thought you meant actually on a toilet, and I was trying to think of any symbols. Like armated shanks or...
Yeah. I should explain myself better, shouldn't I? Let's have a look at Discord. I don't think we've missed any comments. Hello to everybody that's still watching tonight. I think we have overrun a little bit, haven't we? But I've just not been paying attention to the time, just been having fun with this artwork. So I guess we'll do another 5 minutes on it and say we're going to start wrapping up here. There's plenty of space to add things though, isn't there? I say plenty, there's a
If you
bit.
draw small things, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. He definitely looks like a Lego man now. What do you think of that, Sarah? Are you mad? I mean, nobody dare touch Alistair's wall, man thingy, but we've messed up all of Sarah's things.
The
Sorry.
speech bubble's changed a few times.
Yeah, it currently says Deezer app. I can't believe it stayed at that and nobody's changed it to something more suggestive. I like, right, no. I like this here. I like this tractor that you've drawn and you've got the bits of grass flying up out the back of it in text form. Yeah.
Oh, somebody's made the grass separated mosaics. I didn't notice that.
That looks cool, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it just looks a little bit funny. Sarah Burgess says, I can't be mad, I like Lego. Ah. Who doesn't like Lego? Has anybody been to Legoland or Legoland Windsor or any of those Lego type places? Because that's like the real life version of Teletext Land, isn't it? You could probably make teletext pages in Lego. Go on, Alistair. You look like you were about to say something.
No.
No, okay. Yeah, we'll give it another few minutes and say that we're done. Because I'm not sure what we could fit on this now. There. But it's been
looks
fun.
like it's in a jar, doesn't it, that bee?
Yeah. Let's change it to a jar. I don't know how I could do that though. We've talked about jars a few times as well, so it would be fitting.
It's a bit like the heads in jars off Futurama, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought when I saw Pixelblip's jar on his shelf. Jason says, I think it was just after they moved Digitizer and Bamboozle to Channel 4. Yeah. It's sometimes difficult looking through the old stuff to try and find things because they shifted pages a lot and sometimes the stations.
We're narrowing down on when the page numbers changed, though, for things like Digitizer and the Turner kids stuff, because we've got so much in the archive now that we know within a week or two when the page numbers changed, which is good.
I think there's something...
It makes it easier to go looking for things because you know where to expect if you know the year.
A while ago, I was doing a bit of an article on Magazine, and I documented when it changed numbers. And I thought that would be a nice thing to put in, but it ended up being they changed numbers like every year or two. I think it was once they kept it for 4 years, and the rest of it.
I think once it was it club. Once it was on 140, it stayed on 140 for a long time. But it was 440 originally, wasn't it?
Yeah, Club 440. And
then at some point the kids stuff moved to through the 300s, and then back to the 100s. Sorry,
I've just seen these nuts. Oh, these are nuts. Was that yours, Alistair? He wouldn't admit to it. He's crying of laughing.
It was the fact that you said not change to something more suggestive, and it appeared on the screen as you said it.
Oh yeah, wonderful. Peter K says he's been to Legoland Windsor and Denmark. I bought more Lego the other day. A class harvester. Oh, is that something to do with tractors and rollers and machinery again?
Big green combine harvester, isn't it?
That would be fun to build, I think. A full-size one out of Lego to go in Legoland Windsor. Well, hold on a second. I'm just going to burp. I think, do you have anything else you want to bring up tonight, Alistair?
Not really.
Any odds and ends that we've forgotten about? Not that I can think of, though. Jason had to go. See you later. Thanks for joining us for a bit there, Jason. I know it was a bit of a fractured conversation, but look out eventually for a full-blown interview with him on the podcast. And also you can see the sort of hour-long interview we did with him on this very show. I think it was the second one that we did. If you look at the playlist that I've got set up, you can find the one that Jason was on and look for the time codes. So with that, I think that just about wraps up our stream. We've been going 3 hours. Yeah, just about 3 hours. So I think that's enough. It's time for us to retire for the night. I know it's Friday this time, though. So a lot of you probably won't have to get up for work. Usually we're on a Thursday, aren't we? But nonetheless, I think we should wrap up now. That's enough teletext for one day. That's more teletext than any one person can handle, I think. And enough. These are nuts are enough for anybody to handle, I guess. The only thing we've got left to say is, diese App ist fantastisch. And see you next time. The next show, not sure when it's going to be. Not quite sure. Maybe in a month's time, who knows? We'll have to see. I'm not sure when I'm going to be available just yet, but I'm sure we'll do more of these very soon. So anything to say in closing, Alistair?
Keep it blocky.
Keep it blocky, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, I'll just take that off. Keep it blocky, ladies and gentlemen. And keep on teletexting.